Okay, students. So I hope you are hearing me, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's fine. So for today's session, actually, we are going to discuss something about general knowledge. Okay, so let me ask you certain things first.
Yes, sir.
Yes, how many of you have a habit of reading newspaper?
What is that?
How many of you are having a habit of reading newspaper? I mean daily news.
Okay. No, actually, we have no time to taking to read this newspaper. Just taking the
Okay.
sometimes just like that. Not this side. This is an I did not. I have no time to reading the newspaper regularly.
All
Maybe.
right.
Okay.
That's fine. Okay. Yeah. Is there anyone, someone used to just at least to read the headlines? Okay. Yes, that's really fine. Actually, it's just very humble answer that what he had said. Actually, we guys are not having the time to read a newspaper nowadays. Why? Because we are busy. That's a very fine answer. Need to find the same issues. Okay. As I'm supposed to tutor, even though sometime I'm not able to follow the things. Why? Because I'm busy with some other works. Okay, so even though before starting the session, I would like to remind all of you the same thing that actually for every subject, there is a limit, isn't it? For the subject knowledge, there is a limit. But for GK, that is for general knowledge for all the competitive examinations from the very base level to the UPSC or whatever the thing that you are conquering. So you need the very thorough knowledge in general knowledge. Why? Because from any part, the questions may come. Sometimes it may be of some ancient thing to the very present. Why? Because now the system is very impact. So everything is on impact factors. So they can take the questions just before the exam. So we should be very aware of general knowledge. So what I need to convey is that you people just not believe or completely not go through these notes. You try to evolve your own notes. I mean, I'll give you some kind of things. Actually, today we are going to discuss about Indian river and dam system. So by this class, you guys will be knowing how to add your general knowledge. That's our general knowledge. Okay, we can say it as a general knowledge. Why? Because this knowledge is equal for all the exams and for all the people. Okay. So in this session, I think we are supposed to discuss things on river system. Okay, the river and dams. So first of all, important Indian rivers. So here we are focusing on Indian rivers. Then second, it's the river bank cities. Which cities the river is situated or it is being passing. Then second is they flow, the flow direction, that is the left and the right flow directions of each Indian rivers. Then next is of course the rivers with destinations. We used to know the destinations, whether it starts from which place a river starts and where it ends, and what all are the tributaries of various rivers. Then next is of dams, isn't it? So all these things, this comes under geography session, and this whole covers the longest, the largest, the biggest, the smallest. So here we are going to discuss the answers, and after this session, you guys will be evolving the questionnaire for this sessions. Okay. So first of all, the river system of India. I think you guys may know all these things. The river system of India is classified into four main groups. Okay, I think we have a prior knowledge on these things. So I'm not. Okay, first is Himalayan rivers. As we always used to say, the rivers. There are some rivers which originate from the Himalayan ranges. Second comes under the Deccan or the peninsular rivers. Okay. Then, of course, the third is some coastal rivers which originate from some coastal regions. And finally, one is the river of inland water drainage that may originate from some inland water bodies. So these are the main four kinds of rivers in India. We can observe the whole river systems in this four categories. All right. Then here are certain things that you guys need to know. That really first is most of the Indian rivers flows into the Bay of Bengal. You keep in mind that all the Indian rivers, okay, apart from some, that is apart from Narmada, Tapti and Periyar, all other Indian rivers flows to Bay of Bengal. Okay, the three, that is Narmada, Tapti and Periyar, these three flows into the Arabian Sea. So this is the first point that we need to remember about Indian rivers. Nothing else. All the Indian rivers or the majority of Indian rivers flows to Bay of Bengal. Narmada, Tapti and Periyar, this guys flows to Arabian Sea. So you should have to name which all are the Indian rivers flows to Arabian Sea. Sometimes you may be confused. So it is Narmada, Tapti and Periyar. Okay. And of course, this Periyar river is in Kerala. Okay. Then, now the second point, that is Luni, Machu, Rupen. Okay, actually these are the examples. Here you can see Gangar. These are the examples of inland water drainage. As we have discussed, there are four types of Indian rivers. So these are the examples of inland water drainages. So you guys please go through the names. Okay, now I'm just explaining the main points or the key points which may ask for the exam. So you guys try to read the names and try to make aware of these things. Okay, then next is these are the inland water drainages, and they do not empty into the ocean but get lost into the sand. So what is the specialty of this inland water is that these drainages or these rivers, they won't meet the ocean. They won't meet the ocean. Sometimes they may be moving some kilometers and the complete water will be swelling or it will be filtrated into the sand body. That's specialty of inland water drainages. So we can consider inland water drainages as a smallest drainage system of Indian rivers. Okay, then 5 rivers of erstwhile. 5 rivers are known as erstwhile rivers. That is Satluj, Ravi, Bees, Jhelum and Chenab. These are known as 5 rivers of erstwhile. That is Punjab there. Okay, so remember the name erstwhile rivers. They are 5, namely Satluj, Ravi, Bees, Jhelum and Chenab. So guys, remember these names. Okay, then the river. That is, I think this may you some of you may know this. Dakshin Ganga. Which river is known as Dakshin Ganga? It's very important, and that is Godavari. Sometimes by giving the examples or maybe options, we may be confused. So always remember that Dakshin Ganga is, some people may misunderstand that is Dakshin Ganga, it is Ganga river. I had seen some people saying that Dakshin Ganga, suddenly they will recall and say, yeah, it's Ganga river. It's actually Godavari. Okay. Then Brahmaputra. Brahmaputra is also known as Yaling Sanpo. Yaling Sanpo, that is in Tibet. Okay. Then the Hang in Arunachal Pradesh and Jamuna in Bangladesh. So these are the various names of the river Brahmaputra. So this also keep in mind. Sometimes these names may collapse. Okay, so you should, this is why, because many other rivers also have certain names. Why I point out Brahmaputra is that this may come for the exam. Okay, as we see in the question papers, this portion is important. Okay, then the river known as Sinki Hampian, that is Lion's Mouth. It's very important. Sometimes a question may come which Indian river is known as Lion's Mouth in Tibet. That is river Indus. Okay. The river known as Bengal Soro. Bengal Soro, that is river Damodar. Bengal Soro, that is river Damodar. So from here itself, you can evolve certain questions. Okay. So I'm moving to the next one. that is Prayag and Allahabad, is believed to be the confluence, that is Sangam of these rivers. That is, especially you can see Ganga, Yamuna, then Saraswati rivers. Okay. Okay. Yes. So it is the confluence, or you can say the Sangamam of these rivers. Okay, all these four rivers meets at that particular point is known as Prayag. Okay, it's a confluence of these rivers. Then coming to Ganges. Ganges is also known as Bhagirathi. Okay, Bhagirathi, it is known as Ganga River. The Ganga River is known as the Bhagirathi River. And here is a simple, I think the ancient thing, that since King Bhagirath was responsible for bringing it from the heaven to the earth, why it is known as Bhagirathi? So the Bhagirathi and the Alakananda joins at Dev Pragya to form Ganga. The part of the river Ganga which flows into Bangladesh is also known as Padma. Okay, so simple concept, Bhagirathi, the river, it's known as Ganga. Then it is the ancient thing, how the name evolves, that says that. Then Alakananda joins, this Bhagirathi and Alakananda joins at Dev Prayag. This combines to form what? Ganga River. Okay, then the number of Indian rivers which have been classified as major rivers by government is 12. It's the main thing. Sometimes they may ask in search of government or some bylaws, the number of Indian rivers which has been classified as major rivers. Okay, there are wide range of rivers in India, but the Indian rivers which are classified as major rivers, that is 12. Then there are 3 trans-Himalayan rivers. As we have said that there are 4 kinds of rivers. They may be originated from Himalayas, then inland bodies, etc. So there are 3 trans-Himalayan rivers which originate in the Tibetan plateau and cut across the mighty Himalayan ranges. So that is Indus, Brahmaputra and Satluj. Okay, that is Indus, Brahmaputra and Satluj. Okay. Yes. Then the largest river flowing to the state of Rajasthan. So this is also very important. That is the largest river flowing to the state of Rajasthan. That is Chambal River. Okay. Sometimes this also you may know. This is also very important. That is the largest river to the state of Rajasthan. That is Chambal River. Okay. Then next is cities and rivers. Here all the Indian cities are named and also the name of the rivers. Okay. So for example, Delhi, which is the Indian river, flows through the region of Delhi, that is Yamuna. Then Agra, that's also Yamuna. That means it's a flowing range. So Patna, Ganga, Haridwar, it's Ganga, Allahabad, confluence of Ganga and Yamuna that we have already learned. Varanasi, Ganga, Guwahati, Brahmaputra, Kanpur, it's Ganga, Jabalpur, Narmada, then Barch, Narmada, Lucknow, Gomti, Hyderabad, Musi, Nasik, Godavari, Srinagar, Jhelum, Vijayawada, Krishna. Kolkata, it's Hooghly. Then Ahmedabad, Sabarmati, Surat, Tapti. Tiruchirappalli, that is Kaveri. Cuttack, Mahanadi. Ayodhya, Saurev. Then Ludhiana, Satluj. So this also you should have to keep in mind. All these things that we have learned up to our 10th class. It's very basic thing. Actually, we may forget or we may not remembering these things. Actually, when you read this thing, you may find that, oh, this I already learned. Okay, so all these things was your basic up to 10th, but we may find that these are very simple things. Okay, so just recall the table. The next is very important, that the 3 columns, one represents the river, then second represents the cities through which it flows, and third represents the state it which is moving. Okay, so I think you guys go through these things and always remember the river, at least the state. Sometimes you may not remember all the cities, but try to remember the state at least. Okay, that is, suppose Indus River. Indus River is also known as Sindhu. So you got two questions, two answers from the Indus River. It is also known as Sindhu. Sometimes a question may comes that which river is known as Sindhu. So you can simply answer it as Indus. So very simple answers, which makes a very big mistake in the examinations. Okay, so be very conscious. That is, Indus River is known as Sindhu, city is Leh. Then the state is Jammu and Kashmir. It moves through Jammu and Kashmir. Then next is Ganga. So it is from the Rishikesh. So it is the, actually it shows the path, Rishikesh, Haridwar, Kanuj, Kanpur, then Rabirbali, Fatehpur, Allahabad, then Varanasi and Baushar. Then Patna, Mogar, then it is completely Mainpur and Kolkata. It reaches up to Kolkata. Then which all the state it passes? Uttarakhand, Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal. Okay, then finally it is moving to the Bay of Bengal. That is the route of Ganga. It starts from the Rishikesh. So actually these cities, Ganga river flows, we can imagine from the Rishikesh the flow pattern. Okay, for I think for Ganga river it is very simple, and also the states also, right from Uttarakhand to Bihar, Bihar to Jharkhand, Jharkhand to West Bengal. It is very simple to remember. So keep knowing those things. Then next is Brahmaputra, as that is no Guwahati, Durboga and Raspur. The state is Assam and AP, that is Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, that also try to understand. At least you try to know the river, name of the river and at which state it is moving, or what all are the impact of certain rivers in various states. That all the thing that you guys need to know about this thing. Then next is Yamuna. Of course, Yamuna Nagar, Delhi, Mathura, Agra. Then Etawah, Kalpi and Allahabad. Okay, and the states which it is moving: Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, and finally Delhi. Okay, then Mahanadi, it's from Rajim to Banki. Then the states are Chhattisgarh to Odisha. Then Narmada, that is Barwani to Narmada Nagar. Then the states consist Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Gujarat. Then finally Tapi. It's pronounced as Tapi and Tapi. Okay, T-A-P-I as well as T-A-P-T-I. Both are same. That is Nepal Nagar to Surat, MP, Maharashtra and Gujarat. So when you move to this table, this won't be so interesting to learn. So what to do is that just imagine something. From some point it originates and some point it ends. So the moving pattern. Okay, like that you keep some tricks and you learn. And you have to try to learn this thing. Okay. Then the same consisting Godavari, that the states is Maharashtra, Telangana, Chhattisgarh, Andhra Pradesh and Puducherry. Okay. Then Krishna River, Maharashtra, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Then Kaveri, that is Karnataka, Tamil Nadu. Then of course Periyar, that is in Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Then Alaknanda, that is in Uttarakhand. Then Bhagirathi. Okay. So now can you answer which river is known as Bhagirathi?
Ganga.
Yes. That's fine. Then Hooghly, that is West Bengal. Rapti, that's Uttar Pradesh. Sarayu, Uttar Pradesh. Shipra, that's also Madhya Pradesh. Then Tunga, it's in Karnataka. Tungabhadra, that is Karnataka, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Ulas, that's Maharashtra. Vaigai, that's in Tamil Nadu. Mandovi, that's in Goa, Karnataka and Maharashtra. Then Swari, that's in Goa.
हम जा रहे हैं मेरे को रोटी और चावल का मेरा ऐसा दे दो।
Okay. So you kindly please mute your mic.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. So that's all about the rivers and the cities as also the states. Okay, now we are going to learn about the important Indian river tributaries. Okay, now you have learned the main river systems and from all the states it is being moving. Now we are going to learn about the river tributaries as well as the cities and the states they flow. Okay, so first is Indus. Indus River is also known as Sindhu that flows to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. So you can see there are left bank tributaries and right bank tributaries for a river. Okay, I think someone's mic is not muted. So please kindly check that. Yeah, it's fine. So there is left bank tributaries and right bank tributaries. So left is first is Sanskar, that is Nimmu in Ladakh. Then Suru, that is Kargil, Jhelum in Srinagar, Chenab in Lahul, Spiti and Kiswar, Ravi in Kangra and Chamba, Bees in Mandi, Kangra, Jalandhar, Amritsar, Kapurthala. Then finally Satluj in Rupnagar and Firozpur. That is all are the left bank tributaries of the river Indus and also the cities. Then right bank tributary is Shylock, that is in Ladakh. Okay. So all these things I'm trying to recall from your memory. All right. Then Ganga. Of course, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, and West Bengal. All these other states where Ganga touches. So it also has the left and right tributaries. Here you can see Ram Ganga, that is Pauri Grahal, Ramnagar. There is the Jim.
Pauri Garhwal. Sir, it's Garhwal.
Yes, once more.
Pauri Garhwal.
Garhwal. Okay, that's
Yes,
fine.
because my relatives live there. I often visit that place, so that's why I know.
All right, that's
Yeah.
fine. Then it is Ramnagar. There we have the Jim Corbett National Park. Then next is Morabad, that is Moradabad. Then Bareilly, then Shahjahanpur and Hardoi. All these are the various cities. Then right bank tributaries, it is Yamuna, Yamuna Nagar, Delhi, Mathura, then it is Agra, Etawah, Kalpi, and Allahabad. Okay, then is Gomti. It's a left bank tributary Gomti. Then Karnali, Gantak, Koshi, Mahananda. Okay, so just try to read the names, and if you point out something important, you just learn, or you just skip this tributary portions. Why? Because sometimes it may make some confused. So if tries, I think for Ganga you should have to anyway you need to know the tributaries. Then for Brahmaputra and some rivers. Okay, some I'll point out the one. So Ganga anyway you need to know the tributaries, names of tributaries. Okay. Yamuna is actually a tributary. That is a tributary of Ganga River that you should have to know. Then next is Tamsa, then Sun, and Punpun. That is in Faduhan, Patna. Okay. Then is Brahmaputra. This also you have to know at least the name of the tributaries of the river. That is Dibang, Lohit, Dhansiri, and Kolom. Then right tributaries consisting Kamek, Manas, Tista, and Subansiri. Okay, these are the names of the tributaries of the river Brahmaputra. And try to read the cities also. Okay. Anyway, I'm not supposed to read all the things. So I'm pointing out the important things. So if you are supposed to know the cities, it's very awesome. All right. So next is Yamuna. That of course Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, and Delhi. It also has the left and right tributaries, that is Hinsan, Sharda. The next is Chambal, Betwa, Kent, Sindh, and Tons. Okay. Then Mahanadi, it has in Sinonath, Mant, Aib, and Hasdeo. Then right tributaries Jonak, Telen. Then for Narmada also Banjar, Dunthi, Tawa, Coral, and Hathni. Then for river Tapi, it's also known as Tapti, that's Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Gujarat. It has Pansara, Bori, Girna, Waghur, and Purna. Then Gomai and Arunavati. Okay, these are the tributaries of the river Tapti. Then it's finally Godavari, that is Purna, Paranhida, Indravati, Taliperu, Sabari. Then right tributaries, Pravara, Simphana, and Manjira. Then the river Krishna, Bhima, Musi, Muniru. Then Koina, Panchaganga, Dhundaganga, Gandaprabha, Malaprabha, Tungabhadra. All these are the tributaries of the river Krishna. Okay, this also you should have to know, that is the names of the tributaries of the river Krishna. Okay. Then it's Kaveri, that's of course Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Here you can see Harangi, Hemavati, Shimsa, Arkhavati, Lakshmana, Kabini, Bhavani, Amaravati, and Suvarnavati. Okay, sometimes we find these names interesting, so it's good to learn easy. Yes, then of course Periyar, the tributary is Cherudoni, and the right bank tributary is Mullaperiyar. Then one is Mudirapuzha also. That's also near to Periyar Tiger Reserve. Okay. So that's all about the tributaries of various rivers. Then next we need to know about the list of important rivers with source and destinations. Okay, that's very important. From how much length is there and from its origin and to the end. So by learning this, what you can drawback is that, or I mean can learn is that you can find the biggest river, longest river, then also the starting and ending point. Okay, so of course river Ganga, that's length is 2,525 kilometers. So it may vary from slightly varying from textbook to textbook. Okay, and also if you Google out this length of the river Ganga, side to side, it may vary. So it's almost 2,525 kilometers. As we have already said, the origin of the Ganga river is from Bhagirathi, that is Uttarakhand. Okay, then from which glacier? Gangotri glacier. All those things that we know. Then where the river Ganga ends at Bay of Bengal. Simple thing. Okay. Then next is Yamuna. The length is 1,376 kilometer. Origin is from Gangotri. So Yamuna is of course from Yamunotri glacier. That's also from Uttarakhand. Then what happens? This Ganga and Allahabad, that's Triveni Sangamam, that is at Mela spot. There it ends. Okay, at Triveni Sangamam, it ends. Then next is Brahmaputra river. The length is almost 1,800 kilometers and it origins from Angisi glacier, that's from Himalaya. Okay, and it enters into the Arunachal Pradesh. Then finally, that also reaches or it merges with the Ganga and finally it reaches to the Bay of Bengal. That is Brahmaputra river. Next is Chambal. The length is 960 kilometers. The origin is from the, actually Chambal is the tributary of river Yamuna, which starts from MP, Madhya Pradesh, which ends in UP, that which it joins with the Yamuna river and finally it joins in UP, Uttar Pradesh. Okay. The next is Sun River. Also has a short length of 784 kilometers. It's a tributary of river Ganga that's starting from Amarkandak, that is in Madhya Pradesh. Then it also joins with the Ganga just above Patna, and it's also a part of Indian river system. Okay, next is Gandak River. Gandak, it's having a length of 630 kilometers, which origins in Nepal. It's a tributary of river Ganga. Then that also meets in the Triveni Sangamam. Okay, then next is Koshi. Koshi, 729 kilometers, origin from Bihar near Indo-Nepal border. That also joins with the Ganga river in Bihar. Then Bitwa, it's a river having a 590 kilometers. It's also a tributary of the river Yamuna, which arrives with the Vindhyan group. Vindhyan group, it's actually a period of tributaries. Okay. Then that also joins with the Yamuna at Uttar Pradesh. So next is Gomti. Gomti is having a length of 900 kilometers and originate from, that's also a tributary of Ganga River, and it's starting from Uttar Pradesh and it ends as Varanasi where it joins the Ganga River. All right. Then next is Gahra. That is the length is 1080 kilometers and originates from Himalayan glacier. Then it joins Bihar with the river Ganges. Okay. Then Hooghly. Of course, the length is 260 kilometers and it originates from the tributary of Ganga near the West Bengal. It also ends with Bay of Bengal. Directly, it is moving to the Bay of Bengal. Then next is the Damodar River that we have already said. It's a tributary of Hooghly. Then it starts from Jharkhand and that also merges with the Hooghly and finally it is to the West Bengal. All right. Then Indus River or Sindhu River, it's having a length of 3,610 kilometers. Its origin from the Tibetan plateau. Then it enters the India in Jammu and Kashmir. Then it ends in the Arabian Sea. Okay. Then next is Chenab River, having a short length of 960 kilometers. Origin from Upper Himalayas in Spiti district of Himachal Pradesh. Then it merges with the Indus River. Next is Jhelum. Jhelum River is having 725 kilometers. It's also a tributary of Chenum River. That's in from Punjab. Then it merges with the Chenab at Pakistan. Okay. Then Ravi River. It's also starts from Himachal Pradesh and joins this Chenab. All is a tributary. Then it is Satluj River. It's having 1,450 kilometers. It's actually a tributary of Indus River that originate at Tibet. Then it meets in Pakistan and finally to the Arabian Sea. That is Satluj. Okay. Then Beas River. Beas is also supposed to reach in India, which rises in Himachal Pradesh, having a length of 470 kilometers. Then finally it is Kaveri River. Kaveri is having a length of 765 kilometers that also reaches to the Bay of Bengal, which starts from Karnataka. That is the Western Ghats. Okay. Next is Krishna. Krishna is having a length of 1,300 kilometers that originate in the Western Ghats, that from Maharashtra. Finally, it reaches to the Bay of Bengal. Then Godavari, having 1,465 kilometers. Then origin, it's in Maharashtra. Finally, it reaches the Bay of Bengal. So I think this work will be important when you are supposed to go for an exam. And if you need to have some notes about the rivers and dams, you can suddenly go through this material. Why? Because you need to know this length, you need to know the origin and end. So suddenly you can go through this material and you'll be getting a very fast knowledge about those things. There it will be very useful for you. Okay. Then Tungabhadra River, it's actually the tributary of river Krishna. Then it ends at Andhra Pradesh, that's the border of Telangana. Then Tapti is from it joins or it arises from Madhya Pradesh, eastern Satpura ranges, and it finally reaches to the Arabian Sea. Mahi River also arises from Madhya Pradesh, having 580 kilometers, and it flows to the Arabian Sea from Gujarat. Then Narmada River is having a length of 1,315 kilometers. It starts from Madhya Pradesh, and finally it is to the Gulf of Cambay. Then Mahanadi River, finally, that's having a length of 858 kilometers. Then it origin from Madhya Pradesh, that's a hill of southern eastern hills. Finally, from Odisha, Bay of Bengal, it reaches the Bay of Bengal. Okay, this is actually the flowing path of the Indian rivers, where it origins and where it ends. All right. So that's all the thing about the Indian rivers. So we have named all the Indian rivers, and also now I think you'll be able to know, or you yourself has to distinguish which is the biggest, which is the smallest, and which flows to which places. Okay, just recall the things that you have already learned in your school days. Okay, the next we need to discuss about the dams in India. It's also very important. Okay, so dams in India. Anyway, there will be some questions about the dams in India. So here we will discuss all the dams in India. Okay, that includes biggest, hardest, and there are very special dams. We have some arch dams, we have some gravity dams, etc. Okay, so everything is included here. So dams, here you can see various, that is one column is having the name of the dam, next from which river, then which location. Okay, first is Nagarjuna Sagar Dam, that's built in 1967. From the water is from the river Krishna, that is in Andhra Pradesh. Okay, it's between Guntur, Andhra Pradesh and Nalgonda. I think, yes. Next is Sri Shailam Dam, that's also from the Krishna River. It's in Kurnool district, Andhra Pradesh. Then Somasila Dam, that's a Pennar, that's river name is Pennar. Then it's in Andhra Pradesh. Then Dharoi Dam, that is Sabarmati. The water is from Sabarmati River, that's in the district of Gujarat. Dantiwada Dam, that is Dantiwada is the name of a river, that's in the Gujarat. Okay. Then Kadana Dam, that's Mahi River flows the water. It's in also in the district of Gujarat. Then Sardar Dam, it's the water is from the Narmada River, and it's also in Gujarat. Then Bakra Dam, as we know, it's the water is from Satluj, that is in Himachal Pradesh. Then Chamera Dam, that is Ravi River, okay, and that is also Himachal Pradesh. Then Natpa Jakri Dam. Natpa Jakri is also from Satluj, Himachal Pradesh. Okay, here you should have to know from where the water is coming and the name of the dam as well as the location. Okay, from this, going through all these materials, here you have to differentiate which is the biggest, which is the smallest, which is the widest, and which is the oldest, and which is the youngest. Okay. Then next is Pandoh, that is in East Himachal Pradesh. Baglihar Dam, that is Chenab River, that is in Jammu and Kashmir. Then Dumkhar Dam, that's the water is from Indus, that's also in district of Jammu and Kashmir. Then Uri Dam, that's also from Jhelum, that is Jammu and Kashmir. Then Chandil, that is also from Subarnarekha, district of Jharkhand. Okay, it's actually a tributary, small tributary join. Then Maithom Dam, that is from Barakar, that is Dhanbad. Then Panjat is Damodar, it's also in Jharkhand. Then Almaty is from Krishna, it's Karnataka. Then Khadra Dam, that's in Karnataka. Then that is in Kali Nadi, that river is Kali Nadi. Then Harangi Dam, the river name is Harangi itself, and it is in Karnataka. Then Krishna, as we know, it is Kaveri, that is which one? Karnataka, the state is. Then Basava Sagara is also from Krishna district, Karnataka. Then Kodasali Dam, that is Kali River, that's also in Karnataka. Then Tungabhadra that we have already said is from the Tungabhadra River itself in Karnataka district. Then Bhanasura is from Kabani. Then Kabini is also in Kerala. Okay. Then Idukki Dam is one of the Asia's biggest arch dam. Okay, that's also in Kerala, and the water drains from Periyar River. Then Walayar Dam, water drains from Walayar, that's also in Kerala. Then Neyyar Dam, that's also in Kerala, water flows from Neyyar. Then Mullaperiyar Dam, that's also water drains from Periyar and also in Kerala. Then Cherudoni Dam, that's also water drains from the same Periyar River and is in Kerala. Then Bhanasagar, that's from the Son, that is MP, Madhya Pradesh. Then Bargi, the water drains from Narmada River and it's in Madhya Pradesh. Then Indrasagar Dam, that is water drains from Narmada and it's in Madhya Pradesh. Then Rajgat, that is Bethua, that is in, actually it's from Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. Okay.
Sir, once again, please, Periyar, Asia's largest what?
Yes, that is Idukki Dam. It is the Asia's largest arch dam. It's an arch-shaped dam which is situated between two mountains.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Yes. Yes, then next is Gandhi Sagar Dam. That's of course from the river Chambal. That's in Madhya Pradesh. Then Kadakswala, that is also in Maharashtra. Then Radhanagiri Dam, that also in Maharashtra. Then next is Bandadra, that is also from Maharashtra. Kolkevadi, that's also in Maharashtra from Koina. Then Panchad Dam, that is Ampi River, it's also in Maharashtra. Jayagwadi, that's also Godavari drains, that's Maharashtra. Mulshi Dam, that's the river is Mula, and it's also from Maharashtra. Then Hirakud Dam, it's important that the river drain is Mahanadi and is in Odisha. Sambalpur, it's very important, Hirakud Dam. Then Indravati Dam, the river drain is Indravati, that is from Odisha. Bisalpur Dam, Banas, that's also from Rajasthan. Then Perinchani Dam, that is in water drains from Parlayar. Okay, Parlayar, and that's in Tamil Nadu. Okay, so from here, you should have to know Hirakud Dam. Hirakud Dam, the water is drained from Mahanadi, and it is in Sambalpur, Odisha. It's very important, and usually have these questions in various examinations. Okay. Next, Mettur Dam, that's of course from Kaveri, and it's also in Tamil Nadu. Then Bhavani Sagar, as well as the name Bhavani is a tributary. Water drains from there. It's also in Tamil Nadu district. Then Nizam Sagar Dam, that's also important. That is Manchira River, that's in Telangana. Then Sri Ram, that's also Godavari. The water is from Godavari and it's also in Telangana. Then Riyadh Dam, that is in Riyadh, that's Uttar Pradesh. Then Tehri is from Bhagirathi. Okay, that's from Uttarakhand. Yes, so I think these all are the names of various dams.